Greetings, humanity. Welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim, I think, probably.
We hope.
We hope. I was when I last checked. I don't know. I use he, him pronouns. This is our short campaign of KULT Divinity Lost, a horror game by Robin Liljenberg and Nallo, in which the veil that covers reality is slowly being pulled aside to reveal the true terrors underneath. I am playing. I can't. If I were a synth, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm just saying. But no. If I am playing Christopher Sands, his archetype is the artist, and we're going to go around and say hi to everyone, find out who they are and who they are playing. Starting with Marlo. Hello.
Hi, I'm Marlo. I'm playing Max Collins. She is the Seeker. She's also a YouTube personality. Sure. We both use she, they pronouns. She's got a personality on YouTube. Maybe not much of one outside of YouTube. It's okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's nice to know that there are services out there that provide personalities to those who wish to make use of them.
You're a synth. Quit.
No, I'm just reflecting that it's not all bad to use aid from artificial intelligence. Anyway, now let us head over to Katy. Hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Katy. I am playing Valerie Coleman, the Deceiver. We both use she, they pronouns. Valerie is an internet influencer and is basically Anna Delvey. And if you don't know who that is, look her up. She's very interesting and I support women's wrongs.
They do use the internet to influence. So yeah, I suppose that's true.
And now I will get through this.
I really love the I support women's wrongs. It's never not funny.
It is. Kortney, hello.
Hey, hi, hello, and howdy. My name is Kortney, aka Sparkly. His pronouns they, he sometimes. I'm playing as Laurel Watson, pronouns he, they, always. He is the doll archetype, so a desirable little ding dong, who's tall and chubby but strong. He's trendier than me. He is a former cruise ship singer who has no idea what's going on, and is one of the easily influenced. Is a big fan of Max. Is afraid of Valerie and wants to get coffee with Chris. Those are the vibes.
Excellent. Yeah, that's true. I should probably have also just described my entanglements. That I helped out. I helped out Laurel once. Max and I do business stuff together. Sometimes we help each other out. We're sort of friends. We're friends, and maybe not after last time, but we'll see.
I think I'm the only person who's role playing a parasocial relationship, which is great for me.
And Chris and Valerie are dating. And as far as
Valerie
Chris
would not call it that.
I miss so much.
Valerie would not call anything she does dating.
Not dating? No.
No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, Hollow was like, my ship is ruined. Good day.
Well.
That was the perfect timing. That was so funny. It
was very good.
Yeah, that was a very particular timing. So we appear to have lost the anchor for our reality, and now everything is going to drift into eternity.
Storyteller for our story.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that I have gear. I still have a stun gun. You do. I have a gun. I'm sorry.
Well, hopefully all will be well, and you'll be able to reconnect. In the meantime, I'm going to go over the spiel real quick, and we'll see how much time that fills. Like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for us, for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there. but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're all doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain graphic violence and sexual themes, non-graphic, and references to death, drug use, eldritch horror, gaslighting, illusory realities, mental illness, nightmares, physical and mental abuse, religion, self-harm, and suicide. You can see that if you, in chat, type !KULT, KULTCW. And then that'll come up. That'll also come up periodically on rotation. That command should be available to everyone, but I will double check to make sure that I have not locked it out in any fashion, because sometimes I do things and then forget that I do them. Nope.
I think it was just too quick. It was
yeah,
it was
Too
really
slow,
quick.
but also too fast.
Yeah.
Yes. Never. There's never. It's hard. It's hard sometimes to just sort of catch a processor at whatever speed it's going. To wrangle the processors and corral and put them in the corral at night. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, also is that to remember, please, that we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. So that's the entirety of my script. And so I'm going to check to make sure that we have everything, that Hollow is okay. And in the meantime, what did we do last time? Does anyone remember?
I don't know what happened at all. All I know is that people are dating? ?
So
I'm really stuck on that.
shit. All I literally remember is the end, because I was like, what the fuck? I remember that Valerie and Christopher. Oh, whoop, whoop. Save
Coming
for
back.
the recap.
Narrowly escaping the recap. We will. We are. Allow me to now once again perform a brief amount of face grabbery, and
I'm the storyteller.
As
Can you imagine? Sorry.
just for a few seconds, and the burden is lifted.
Congratulations, you are now telling the story.
Been demoted. That was so fast. At least it was honest this time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Geez.
That's a personal callback.
Sometimes you gotta make it personal. You just gotta dig it in deeper.
Yay!
Hi, welcome
Yeah.
back.
Thank you. Not sure what happened there. I was looking at the screen, checking my stuff, and all of a sudden just it was just a prelude of things to come, really.
Sometimes the veil parts.
Sometimes when I feed myself, my body makes the same noise you just made, Hollow. Perfect.
Yeah. So we just got to the recap.
Wait,
Yeah.
Pharaoh, what? There was a doorknob? What? In a chest?
So vaguely what I can remember,
Hmm.
and I say that vaguely because I don't know how many of you know, I have a Benadryl brain, so nothing stays. But basically what happened was Christopher and Valerie talked about what happened at the rave. Wanted to find out about Christopher's friend, because Christopher's friend said that Christopher was their guardian at the hospital, which is obviously not true, but that's what happened. Valerie was like, okay, give me all you know about him. Then she shot some messages over to Max and was like, yo, Max, give me what you got about this dude. You're a computer hacker. You know the do I'm in kind of stuff. And then Max sent back to Valerie all of the information, which included an address. Valerie and Christopher decided to take a field trip to this to where this address was. From the flip side, Max got a message that was like, oh, this house is haunted. It'd be really cool to explore for your YouTube show. So Max was like, hells yeah, that's where I'm going. And Max went. Basically we got to this like weird rundown area of town, very like, you know, poor, disheveled, not like definitely not what Valerie was used to. And it was close to a like a junkyard, a junk heap kind of thing. We went into Christopher's friend's house. We learned his name. I cannot remember it. Valerie also will not remember it, so it's not important to me. But we learned his name. We went to his house. It was like rigged with a ton of like stuff. The weird thing was he had a lot of Christopher's original art. Like when Christopher first started the scene, that had been won like anonymously at auction. So that was a little strange. And we kept hearing this, like, we kept seeing this train go around the top of the, like a little mechanical train go around the top. Woo, woo.
I'm participating.
Max was at her haunted place, which is literally 4 houses down, maybe 5, and was also hearing this train in the distance. Well, some things happen. Christopher tries to like pierce the veil. Valerie touches everything she can get her hands on because she is a thief and a compulsive, and she's greedy. Touches the wrong thing, goes through a door, falls. At the same time, Max also falls through a hole in her haunted house. Long story short, everyone ends up meeting up in the middle. Find out there's tunnels beneath this little row of houses. We find like bunkers with tons of guns and tons of like food, like to like last like through a war kind of, like through apocalypse kind of thing. We also found like information. There was some information we found, like names, something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, we go to leave, and I roll a move that I have called backstab, which means that I can take someone by surprise with even though I have a -2 to violence. I knock an old man out after he cocks a rifle at us, so he deserved it. And we find out that it was Brian, the cop's father, who I just remembered earlier in the episode had sent me a weird, creepy email, and I told my assistant to block him. So it all comes back around.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I'm sure I missed some things. I'm sorry.
No, I think that was right on track. You learned about Mr. Alvaro, the who is settling for 422. There was also some implications that he may have been involved in the burning of a commune that was very important to Christopher.
Yes.
Also, he might have a very healthy or unhealthy obsession with Christopher and his art.
Also true. That's rather apparent. I'm sorry, Hollow, you didn't get to introduce yourself.
No, I am Hollow. I am the game master, the arbiter of the world. Here I am. I peeked through the veil a little bit, and clearly my computer couldn't handle it. So, but I'm back now. And now we have to deal with the fact that Christopher, at the end of the game, as you were being chased by the old man after he got up, this old man was a prepper and was very emphatically wondering why there were people down in his shit. And after being knocked out and bloodied, he should have been down for the count, but then Christopher started hearing him scraping around and saying things like, "You ain't gonna get the best of me. It ain't going down like that," and things of that nature. And Christopher has been peeking all game, just peeking past the veil. Peeking, is trying to see the unseen, because shit is bothering Chris a lot. And this time he looked a little too hard. And we ended the game with the veil ripping asunder and revealing a deep labyrinth under the prepper community. And a demonic voice telling Christopher they weren't going down that way.
Did you want to handle the thing that is now that we have Kortney back? Do you want to handle the thing from the past first, or do we want to just keep going from where we were?
Interlude.
Yeah.
We are at a cafe with our doll and our deceiver.
Valerie is also, am I here for everyone? Because everyone is moving robot-y for me.
You're here.
Uh-oh. Yes, you're good.
The
Okay.
internet can't handle us.
Clearly not. This did it the first session we had, but it fixed itself. So I don't know if it's just a spectrum thing, which is fine. As long as y'all can hear me, I'm good. So Valerie is sitting in this diner with Laurel that Laurel recommended. I think unless
It was just because it was near, you know? Yeah. I walked here. You were dropped off. I walked to the rave.
And Max left with my car. And like Valerie on her part at least isn't saying anything to Laurel. So like unless Laurel is filling up the awkward space with talk, Valerie's been very quiet this whole time. She's sort of fuming that there's blood on her dress.
You also took your shoes off at one point. I think your heels were broke. Yeah.
Okay.
So Laurel just was remembering that we wanted to go out to a diner really quick and have a brief debrief, if only because he is very aware of who you are as a person because he's caught a glimpse of it and it's scary. This feels like an intimidation tactic because, Laurel's just gonna go the fuck home. But it's been a long night. Got to see Celebrity Max, my favorite YouTuber, and the nice artist guy who I've seen before in the past, serving up coffees and doing cool stuff. So he's just kind of having internally one of these moments, but like more afraid, the little shy fingertip to fingertip. But we get to the diner, ask the server where we can sit. She says anywhere's fine. And we take the corner booth.
Valerie orders a coffee black, tells Laurel that he can order whatever he would like.
Egg sunny sign up and bacon making like a smiley face, please.
The server looks at you, gives you a quick glance. All right. And they as they loudly chew their gum away from you.
Valerie specifically waits until food comes, just sort of staring at Laurel, getting like just sort of like eyeing him up and down. A very neutral look on her face, not like happy, not like she's eyeing up prey. It is very neutral. Like for Valerie, she's trying very hard to not be intimidating.
There are some there's a bit of side betting happening among the servers and the back of house on how long this date's gonna last. Because it's clearly tense already.
Laurel's gonna do the thing where he scooches in the side of the booth and like kind of turns sideways and is like kind of propped up, sitting like a gay, and goes, Val, can I call you Val? We never really like established.
Not many people do, but sure, go ahead.
Okay. He squints as trying to find the sincerity there. Do you prefer Miss Coleman, Ms. Coleman, Mrs.?
I prefer most people not speak to me, honestly, but you can call me Val.
Okay. Just checking, because like I've seen you before, and you seem to be a woman of a lot of great influence, a lot of power. You're very snazzily dressed. You're really confident. And I just want to know what brings you out to this side of town.
I'm
And he like
very
plays with his fork, like kind of twirls it on the table.
I'm very close with Max, who threw the event tonight.
How'd you two meet?
You know, just we sort of run in the same circles, honestly.
You're also a ghost hunter?
More of the influencer brand.
And Laurel just kind of like nods in the back of his mind, going, ah, one of those. So sorry.
I asked you for this, because I think we're both aware of a little bit of who the other is.
Maybe
I-
just like a little bit.
I wanted to elaborate on some things, if that's all right with you.
Sure. Go right ahead. And then he'd turn and kind of put his arm on the table. Just
The person who I don't want to use the word rescued, bought your contract out from, I guess. Was I don't want to say mutual friend. His name, Henry Jack. That's what I knew him by. Was the type of person, very similar to me in a way, in that we had very influential lives. But the thing was, I was not as influential when I knew him. And I would have done anything for him. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. That sort of thing. Except I don't think he had that in mind for me. And when he tricked me into taking up, this is going to sound very strange. We live in a very strange city. He tricked me into taking on a pact with a demon devil for his life. I have a year to live.
oh well,
I would.
okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm over it. It happened. It's done. I would like to enjoy that year as much as possible. That's why I need your help. You're very strong. You seem to know your way around, taking care of people. You just need backup sometimes. I'll make your life worth it.
So let me get this straight. You're the one who got my previous contract terminated
Mm-hmm.
with no communication with me.
No,
We don't have a contract together, do we?
no, this is your choice.
Okay. So you're asking for a favor
Yes.
that I didn't ask for. Okay. That's and then he sighs and is thinking, I need to move. I should move. I really need to move. I hate it here.
At the
Internalized,
end of my
but
life, everything I have will be left to you.
oh. No, I thought, what about your friends? Aren't you not friends with Max and all those other influency types?
They get to live a lot longer than I do. They have time.
Okay. Okay, so you say you have a year left.
It's a little less than 6 months.
Oh, that's like half. What? Okay. What can I what and then like Laurel looks up at the servers and is like, I hope they don't come over here, and is very flustered. And
One of them wants to come over and refill coffee. There's something about Val that is just unsettling enough, like the bitch please don't
oh God,
vibes that like Val gives off, that they are just like they're holding the coffee, but they are not bringing the coffee to you. In fact, they are refilling coffees that have no need of filling, just to stay away from people.
You know what? 1 second, and then Laurel's gonna dart up and walk to the servers and go, Can I just have one of those pots? And just like, I'll take it to my table.
Yes,
okay, cool.
they just hand it to you. Well, they get ready to hand it to you, realize it's hot, and they very gingerly walk over with you and set it down, and then walk away.
Cool. Feel free to put my eggs and bacon in a to-go box, and I'll get it on the way out. And then he like very seriously leans across the table and he goes, so what do you want me to do?
I'm not asking for much here. I see earlier I had an altercation with someone who believes they're a fan of me. Taking care of things like that. If I need someone to accompany me on an event, something like that, I'll make it worth your while. And if you need things cleared out of the past, I know you have a pretty spotty one, much like myself. I can make things disappear. I can make things appear.
So I protect you. Do you also have the ability to give me protection if I ask for it?
Definitely not strength. I'm nowhere near as strong as you.
But you have a lot of resources. Could we like hire people? I don't know how this works. I've always been the hired.
Do you need someone hired?
I'm just thinking. And then he like kind of rubs the taser that's in his pocket.
I mean, I can arrange things.
Okay. I just don't know how this is going to work because like I'm not sure if you looked too deep into my history. I'm not really like the muscle. I am like I have strength, but that just comes with like the size.
The thing is, most people are fooled by the size. I don't actually need the strength a lot of the time. I can talk my way out of a lot of problems, but having someone who looks strong and capable like you do behind me usually tends to work out for me.
I'm not the best at lying though.
You don't have to ever open your mouth.
But that's
just
like my
nod,
one skill.
Nod and shake your head, whatever seems applicable to you in the moment.
Okay. But that's like the one thing I know to do is like I'm a performer first.
You're a performer who doesn't know how to lie?
It's more song,
Well, if I need you to sing a song, I will definitely come to you first. But I'm not saying you can't work for other people or take other jobs. It's technically freelance. Are you saying you don't want to be paid regularly?
I was under the assumption that because you, quote, saved me, that I wasn't getting paid. There's payment in this
yes,
too?
of course. You don't owe me anything. I took care of you because I don't like people doing what he did. He did it to me. I don't like it. It's unfair to people who don't know any better. Didn't have a chance.
I'm the piece in a revenge plot. Okay, that makes sense. And then, well, just I guess I need gear. Do I need gear? Do I need training? I've never used one of these. And then he just slams the taser on the table. He's not really.
I'm not sure if that's even legal to but just put that away.
You know what? Every city's different. He just stuffs it back in his coat.
I'll get you whatever you need. Just get me a list. I'll take care of it. I'll need your address, unfortunately. If you would like to live somewhere else, please let me know. You could live with me. I have a very big apartment. We would technically never see each other. It's your choice. You have a lot of choices here, Laurel.
You know what? I'll take you up on the apartment, but I would like to have one place that is mine that's kind of just for me. Is that reasonable? Is that doable?
Of course.
Okay. Well, all right. Sure. Once I figure out what the hell a guard needs, I'll get you a list as soon as I can. What do we do next? Should I pack a bag? I've never done this before.
I'm going to say, because I can't remember if I didn't, and I knew she would. She like has one of those little, like clutches, just like enough to hold like the bare minimum. She pulls out a little like Nokia flip phone, like old school, and burner phone, slides it across the table to Laurel. This dials out one way and it's to me. Text the same. If you need me, this is how you reach me. You're going to get paid. If you could go weeks without seeing me, I'm still going to pay you. I will need a way to get you your funds, though. I'm not sure if you. I don't exactly trust banks myself, so I'm not sure if you trust
I
them.
don't have a bank account anymore. I'm working off cash.
Okay,
Cash is
I can do
fine.
that.
Yeah,
An envelope of cash,
fine.
very old school. Matches the burner phone.
Yeah, sure. We can even do a duffel bag if you want. Keep it spicy. Put it in a locker that both of us only know the password to. I've seen it all the time in movies.
Like a subway locker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If we're feeling that sounds kind of fun, and then Laurel gets like really excited. Like that sounds. Oh, this is
Okay.
neat. This is kind of neat. Do we have a
Alright.
team name? Can we have a team name?
We can have whatever you'd like.
I'll
There
get
is
back to you
one
on that.
thing though. I don't want this like advertised, well known. I mean, people will see us together, of course. I'm not hiding you or anything, but I don't like my personal business being spoken about. I'm sure you can understand that.
Do you want to come up with a cover story?
No, I mean, I'm not hiring you legally. It is under the table, but you work for me. That's all that matters.
Okay. I can just be your on retainer performer. Like I said, I'm not the best at lying, but if it's a half truth, it's not so hard.
It is still half the truth.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Val, I'll figure out what I can. And I'll get back to you. And then he sends like a test text message using like the little T9 word that's just a hello and a smiley face. And puts the phone in his pocket and was like, well, I'm gonna head home. You know where to reach me. And he pats his pocket and walks out, but grabs his to-go breakfast order on the way out and says, cheers, ladies. And then
Valerie finishes her 1 cup of coffee, leaves 100 on the table, and then she also leaves.
Okay.
these cards are spooky.
Well,
But fitting.
Very fitting. So we have the it looks like we have the eight of hourglasses, which revolves around crossroads, connections, politicians meeting, deals being struck, pact weavers, swaps. Then we have the three of hourglasses, which is concerns the past. Things that could have been, things that could have happened already, old rivals, old arch enemies, ancient digs. And let me count that up here. So it's the five of eyes. And the five of eyes is about division, about what keeps you occupied in your individual struggles, your location, what organization you're a part of, what's your situation, who are you connected to that keeps you separated from everything else, what things can keep you separated, like hate propaganda, racism, terribly penned manifestos in the middle of the night because someone didn't like you. That sort of thing.
Healthy, reasonable.
So yeah, all super healthy stuff. Definitely not a guy out there just like that named Brian or anything. We have the Seven of Crescents, which is reflection. Reflections can reveal the truth. Also, truth can be deceptive. You can use the truth to deceive people. You can mirror things. Identical twins, still pawns, cult and philosophical societies, things things that you see and you think you know them, but they are in fact more than what they appear to be.
I just want to give a quick technical note that I can only at this time give verbally because my keyboard appears to have borked for the time being. It will come back if it behaves as it has in the past. But just so you're aware, I cannot send. I cannot type anything right at this moment.
Okay. Yes. And the last card is just get here, so you can see the art here, is Yesod, the Archon, the principle of avarice, influence through greed, capitalism, economics, consumer frenzy, powerful corporations, preying upon the weak. Very appropriate card for the players in this scene and for the people in this scene.
I'm in danger.
Just we got a shout out last time about calling out the cards, so just wanted to make sure that we make sure we got that in there for everybody.
Oh, yeah, no, that's awesome. That's also terrifying. Also, seemingly, I think it was the dealing of the cards that affected my keyboard because it's back now somehow.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. And with that interlude, Laurel, it's been about 4 days since you've had that conversation that night. And what's life been like for Laurel in this new, in these new swanky digs, having this apartment that definitely isn't on street level anymore?
Yeah, he definitely got a nicer place, more on the outskirts of town, and has walked to where Val's place is, but hasn't gone in yet. He's just like a little too nervous. She said he could come in and out whenever he pleases, but he's been using her money to basically get really nice food delivered,
I think to clear it up, Valerie gave Laurel a card. Said this is basically your black card, your Amex. Is it Amex? Amex? I can't remember.
Amex, yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Amex does have a
That's
black
out
card.
of my price range. But
I feel like
gave
the
Laurel an
payment,
Amex.
you gave it to me through a Subway in a duffel bag as like a bit, which I
Valerie
think is
didn't
really
think
cute.
that Laurel was serious until Laurel was completely serious about
yeah,
the
yeah.
duffel bag.
But
Yep,
you didn't want to have to
ugh.
always go to the Subway, so you left a card in there instead. Use this instead. It's the future.
Yes, I once ran a horror game involving a killer who used a Amex black card as a murder weapon of choice.
Interesting. Terrifying. Gonna have to watch the YouTube video on that. Laurel in that time definitely got himself armor that he doesn't know how to wear because it's too bulky and his clothes don't really fit around it. He's gone by where Val lives. She hasn't reached out to him since. He's been kind of looking up how to be a bodyguard, how to lie, and is practicing lying, when you go see your barista on a different side of town and they're like, how are you? Are you having a good day? And he just makes something up. And so he's kind of leaning into this like acting that he's never done before. And it's kind of like tickled the back of his brain in a weird way because it's fun to pretend to be someone else. And it's also a little bit jarring. So during this time, he's been doing his best to figure out how to fulfill his role because he's got way more money than he knows what to do with. And it's kind of making him a bit anxious. And he wants to be sure he's doing the job right. So he's putting way too much research and effort into this when he could just ask. But instead he's being avoidant and hiding. But he loves the fact that now he has to wake up during the daytime because his previous jobs had him up all night. So
funny thing is you've been getting a great night's sleep. There's a certain burden that is lifted off of people who are disadvantaged when you suddenly have comfort. And you've been getting, a decent night's sleep, compared to your other nights. Also, especially the fact that you don't have to go out at night anymore. And I think that's where we'll take it from here, is that it's nighttime. You are asleep. And I drew the eight of skulls here. Eight of skulls represents suffering, the pain that comes with death, and the cleansing of the soul. It's the cycle of rebirth, and also connected to a few realms such as the oubliette, purgatory, inferno, elysium. The location and the bridge that actually lies between all of the terrible places that lie just underneath the surface. And it's there where you can hear Valerie. Valerie seems like a yeller when distressed.
Oh yeah, but it is very much high pitched, like Scream Queen, like
Shrill.
perfectly shrill
Yes.
yell. Yes.
You think you are awakened from your sleep by the sound of Valerie yelling, screaming, screeching. But you wake up mostly in your underwear in a hallway, a stone hallway.
Just gonna like pat myself, get the t-shirt underwear. Where's the phone? Where am I?
There is no trappings of your waking life here. You don't seem to have your phone. You don't seem to have the bedspreads, any food that was sitting next to you on the dresser.
This
You might not even
illuminated?
have the underwear if you think of yourself as a naked sleeper versus a clothed sleeper. That really depends on your mindset.
As long as I'm not Winnie the Poohing it, where it's just the t-shirt, I think we're fine.
You think you're Winnie the Poohing it, but then you realize you're wearing boxers.
Oh, thank God. Oh God. How dark is this hallway? Can I see doors? Can I see the end of the hallway?
You don't see doors. You don't see light. You do one light. It is the halo of light behind what looks like Chris Sands with hair flying in the wind, and he's tumbling forward. And you can see Valerie falling in the distance, and you can see Max falling in the distance at a different point.
Laurel sheepishly kind of pulls his shirt down to cover himself because he's like suddenly embarrassed that he's going to be seen, not processing that they're tumbling towards him, and kind of then goes like the little slap like, am I awake? What the? And
You're not sure. As you all sort of land in a heap, as you are sort of sucked together. Chris, you were seeing this man, this horrid face caved man, thanks to Valerie's valiant and brave efforts and the bleeding of the side of their face. And you watched as their face became distended and grotesque, and for a moment you almost saw a smoking muzzle snorting at you with pitch black eyes. And then you just started falling forward, and there was nothing to catch as you moved and you tumbled. And Max and Valerie, you were standing and you were seeing all this terrible, shrine to Brian. And then the floor just became mist beneath your feet.
Laurel's gonna do one more kind of what is this called? It's not perception. See through the illusion, the soul read. He's gonna do what I do when I try to lucid dream and like bite a nail and spit it out and see if the nail is still there. For some reason that works for me for lucid dreaming. So he's just gonna do that. So yeah, soul +3. I rolled a 6.
Okay. I love this. It's my favorite thing.
He's not sure if he's awake. No, I'm scared.
You're not sure if you're awake. In fact,
Oh no.
you've never been more sure that you're asleep right now. This is the deepest sleep you've ever been in. In fact, you are so sure that you have left your corporeal body behind that you might not make it back to your body if you don't escape this place.
Oh, so this is one of those you bite the fingernail and you look back and you never bit it type of things. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Shit. I'm just gonna be less embarrassed then because it's a dream, but I'm still gonna like try and modestly cover myself and just make my way to the people that I know and just call out their names. Chris? Val? Max?
As you are tumbling, it's like you can hear them like their voices on the wind, and you can only see a flicker of flame of the outline of their body as you land upon the ground. And you have this ghostly eidolon of Laurel here to greet you, like Virgil leading Dante through hell itself.
But this is the blind leading the blind fully.
I got my shoes on. This is an abomination.
No. Chris is going to slowly sit up and just be like, oh God. Oh God.
Where the fuck are we? What
not
just
happening.
happened?
What
This isn't-
what happened?
Okay, no, it's fine. It'll be fine. He's closing his eyes for a moment like he did with the wheelbarrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to open his eyes again. See if it's just him having a moment or
this is a moment.
The shared moment.
he's like, oh God. Oh no, this
Yep.
isn't going well.
Laurel just like looks around and is like, you guys can't be lost. This is a dream.
When you say that, you hear
Oh wow. Wow.
But we recognize like that it's Laurel. Like we know. Like,
oh yes. It's just that
we just don't hear what they're saying.
No, you hear them. But it's like the wind is carrying all of their words from far away from you, even though their outline is right next to you.
Got you. Yeah,
So-
Valerie just sort of just don't. I've already got a migraine.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when she hears the wind again, she's just like, don't speak, please.
What?
All right, didn't mean
Wait.
to offend you.
You can see him?
Christopher,
Yeah.
we're here with you. This is real.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Whatever that is, does not sound pleased.
It's oh, that's probably Mr. Fury, or what he is now, whatever he is now.
What?
I think he's not himself here. If we
When Max and I ran up the stairs to leave, the intention of getting the fuck out of that house, what were you doing?
I just oh no, I was I turned I finished but I put an ice pack on Mr. Fury and came back to the stairs. I was at the stairs heading up and I heard something. It sounded kind of like him but also not. And it was a tearing. It was a movement out of perception, something else. So I turned and just to see what it was, and it was this place. The visions have never been this strong before. I didn't realize they were real entirely. I thought they were. I'd seen to other places, but I didn't know that they were. I didn't know if it was a dream or not. It kind of is a dream, sort of. As it sort of says to the apparition of Laurel, but maybe it's hard to know. But it's also real, I guess.
Am I dead? And then he like looks down at himself.
God, I hope not.
Laurel, when you ask, "Are you dead?" an icy axe flies through you, and it sort of just breaks up your body just a bit, and then it sort of puffs back together, and the axe lodges itself into the wall near your conversation, and you can see two red eyes at the end of the corridor. Chris, this axe looks very the actual hatchet, the blades are made of ice, but the handle is made out of the plastic of the ice pack that you gave to Mr. Fury.
Shit. Oh shit. I think he's done with the ice pack. We have to run now.
What did you do? What did you do?
Valerie is getting her ass up faster than she's ever done before in her life.
Yeah, we running.
We going.
Chris is saying we gotta go. Laurel's gonna like kind of go up to him and try and like grab him and just say, "What did you do?" And just try.
It's like mist. Just.
Does he feel it, or is it just?
Oh
like,
yeah, he feels
vision?
it. He's so sensitive right now. He definitely feels you.
He's just getting ready to run. He's like, I just looked. That's all. I just looked, and I'm just gonna start running.
And you run, and the chase begins. You hear the plodding hoof steps.
Valerie, despite running, is going to do what she would usually tell Chris not to do and look over her shoulder.
Oh, you look over your shoulder. You have the outline. You have the outline of a loincloth and rippling black muscles and a snout. And as it breathes snot and vapor. Tiny ears. Cute little cow ears. Aren't they pleasant?
This is the Minotaur in American Horror Story season 3.
Yeah.
No.
Is that Minotaur hot? Hold on. This
Oh
is
yeah,
really
there's a whole
it's pretty hot
storyline with that Minotaur.
Yeah. And in the wan light of the tear behind the Minotaur, you can see freedom. Maybe.
Behind the Minotaur?
Oh yes, behind the Minotaur.
So like the opposite way that we're running.
I mean, but it's a labyrinth.
That's true. You're right. Who knows?
Laurel catches himself and is like, wait, I can just go through this thing. And then like pauses and thinks really, really hard because he saw this in a movie once. Maybe I can change what I look like and scare it back. And he just is like willing it as hard as he can. Don't know what I would roll for that.
How do you tell me how you would try to scare the Minotaur? Is it are you trying to puff up like you're fighting a bear? Do you try to like slap the Minotaur because you're a violent person? Like
so Laurel isn't very creative in this moment, but he basically tries to make himself look like the Minotaur, but like bigger. Maybe with a weapon in each hand.
So I want you to roll two things. The first thing I want you to do is roll soul, because you're conjuring up desperate, terrible feelings trying to become like the Minotaur but bigger. And I want you to roll soul first.
7 + 3, that's a 10.
Okay, so you are nearly taken by this ravenous anger, but you keep yourself. As your body flexes and grows and you become quasi-corporeal, as you now have, what color Minotaur are you, Laura?
Definitely a black with like emo red stripes. Like you know the type. Black and red fringe, dark skin like he is. A little bit more of a tummy, not as shredded.
Okay. So this is quasi
Wearing
combat.
boxers. Yeah.
And you have to make, as the Minotaur, you have to make a violence roll of some kind every turn, or you will be taken over by your rage.
Oh no.
What's your violence modifier? Mine's
Oh, no,
a
you
-2. You're fine.
Well, I would say that since you used your soul to conjure this Minotaur, I'll let you replace your violence with your soul for this scene. But you have to make a violent-esque maneuver every round, lest your anger overcome you, because you have to vent it somehow.
I definitely think because Laurel doesn't know how to fight, he's gonna do like the childish, like, yeah, but with like axes just kind of flailing in front of him and just like screaming. He's gonna be very, very rah! He's gonna be like that. It's gonna be really annoying.
Okay.
Sorry, Val. I rolled a 5, and that's with the +3.
All right. So your first round, you actually trip, and in the spirit of failing forward, you do kind of like skid into the Minotaur, and it becomes a comedy of failures as you and the Minotaur sort of slap at each other and burst through a wall sideways. So the path right now is quasi clear because they are somewhere else in the labyrinth, slap fighting each other. So we'll go next to Max.
Yes. I'm running. I
Okay.
don't want any part in it. I don't look back because I'm so terrified. I'm keeping my eyes forward, but I'm trying to make sure that the people that are with me are stay with me. So
Okay.
in glancing around just to make sure that like they're around me, like we haven't lost them, like I have maximum amount of people around me. But
You've already lost 2 people, basically. One skittered away, and Valerie looked backwards to see stuff. So you're already 2 people down.
so it's just me and Chris.
Yes, right. As of right now, yes.
And Chris has not looked back. Chris is just like
Chris has seen enough of this, actually.
But then part of him wants to look more of the labyrinth, but that's not conscious right now.
That's a future Chris problem.
Yes, that's a future Chris problem.
Where's the weird light person and Val? Where did they go? Because I don't think Max has officially like met Laurel yet.
So they were just
he was
kind of
just
at
really
your
weird.
thing being weird.
Yeah.
Singing a Maroon 5 song and just killed the vibes at your party.
Yeah. When you ask that, I will turn around and look. And
you see a burst wall and a wand lights, like a dying sun guiding you, trying to guide you back home. But you do see the stretching labyrinth behind you.
That might be the way out.
Oh. She kind of like slows down and like turns and looks back as well.
All right, you see Valerie looking back.
What is that down? Is that a Minotaur? I guess
Probably
we're in a labyrinth. I guess that makes sense.
It's Mr. Fury. He's a Minotaur. It kind of happens sometimes, I guess.
He just turned into a Minotaur?
People do sometimes, I guess. Sort of. Yeah, it's hard to explain. I didn't think it was really. I didn't know if it was real. Apparently, it's real.
Oh
Should we try this door? I don't know how long they're gonna be. Yeah. Does it look like Valerie is inclined to try to run to run back toward the?
Yeah, Valerie, what are you doing? You look back. What are you doing?
So I've turned. I haven't stopped running in the direction I was running, but I looked back. So have I been transported somewhere else?
No. You just said I thought you were looking back, so I thought they may have left you behind because you were looking back.
Got you. No, she was still hightailing it behind. She's probably lost a couple of feet on it, though. That is very fair.
Yeah.
But she sees the rift, and does she see one Minotaur fighting this other Minotaur?
Yeah, you went. Yeah, since you decided you were the first to look back, you saw this dread comedy of wall crashing Minotaur action. Might awaken something in you. Might be hot. Who knows?
I got that backstab move. Used it once. I'm scared to do something. Okay, so I'm not gonna roll that because I am terrified that my -2 is going to get me in the ass. So I'm going to, I see what's happening, just like mutter out this long string of just very inappropriate cuss words, and then run after. I'm continuing to run after Max and Chris. As
you are running, roll soul, please.
Something else I have a negative in.
Wow.
I put everything in being cool and charismatic. Okay. So 15 total. I rolled a 16.
Cool. So you are not slowed, but you can see the ghostly outline of the chains that are binding your life, rattling behind you.
That's appropriate. Freaks her out a little bit. Does put a little pep in her step though, so she's catching up. Is there some way to? I know that we saw the like exit, what we think is exit behind us, but we are in a labyrinth. Is there something that I could roll to get an idea of where would be safe?
So you can make the investigation maneuver, or you can roll soul to try to escape the labyrinth, but those involve like crises of personhood if you fail too hard.
Does rolling that also help my friends get out, or is it just a Valerie
well
thing?
rolling investigation is helping you get out. If you warn or if you tell your friends, you can do that. Rolling soul is helping you all get out. One thing is faster than the other, but one thing comes with more crisis than the other.
I want to do the one that helps us all, so soul. Right? Soul?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
It's not that bad. It's just a -1. I rolled 2 zeros, so that's a 20. 19, baby.
You
I forgot about the -1.
You have a glimmer to the Archon Yesod, and you can see on his desk the papers and the chain that lead back to the demon who has your life in its hands. But that's deeper in. But outward, you could get very close to the bleeding, dying sun of the entrance. You're sure the entrance is closing, the tear, because this tear was never meant to be here.
I'm going to point it out to my friends and tell them we have to just follow me. Don't look back. And like she enunciates each word, and she's going to sort of push forward a little bit and try to lead them toward that burning sun of an exit.
Yes. As you step forward with confidence, every step you take, you can hear the scrawling of ink and quill on parchment and vellum, and the sounds of drying sand as you move forward. Chris Sands.
Oh, hi.
You are being shown a way, a very clear way towards the exit. But you're not there yet.
I'm going to do probably, I probably don't mean to. But while we are headed there, I am following Valerie. I'm not sure how Valerie knows. I don't know if Valerie. I'm not sure if Valerie knows where they're going, but I think I'm going to. I am probably though going to end up. So just sort of thinking about this place and just sort of letting everything sink in and trying to figure out if I've seen the labyrinth before or if I've seen other things before. And I think back to other things that I've seen before. Just sort of looking around in the context of this is possibly real. These people are here with me. And I think the curiosity probably does get the better of him a little bit, and he does look back, which he was told not to just a moment ago.
All right, Lot's wife, let's do it.
I feel as though... Wait, let me see.
To sand.
We're making mistakes. We're doing what it takes together.
Oh man. Yeah, it's enhanced awareness, isn't it? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Enhanced awareness. The same move that got us here.
That seems smart, Jim. That seems so smart. It's fine. Our friend is a see-through imagination minotaur fighting a real minotaur. We're fine.
This is wait, let's see. This is okay, so this is soul.
Yes, it is.
This is soul. So I'm afraid I only got a 21.
Boom. All right.
You can discern clear details regarding the location.
So you are in this labyrinth. You can see that there is a definitely some sort of chain that binds your group together in some way. You also can see the chains of their suffering that stretch out and sort of cascade all along the labyrinth. The most clear you can't see the Archon, you can see a bleeding mahogany desk with a blooming tree growing out of it.
Ooh.
And that chain is the most definite and the most real to you in your vision, and the one is definitely coming from Valerie.
Oh, it's growing out. It's coming out from the tree. It's all attached to the tree, of course. Fascinating.
What
And you
are
can
you
definitely
talking about tree? What?
There's a tree
and you can
back there.
You can definitely see the way out. You can definitely see that the Minotaur was always Brian's dad. He was always that Minotaur.
Oh boy. Okay.
Killing the dad of the one person who was my friend.
All right. Yeah, no. We're
Sorry.
This place, it's how do I explain this? I can't fully explain this, but it's like chains of our lives are tied to this tree that's here that grows this into this place. In this place, there's a funnel coming in and out, and Mr. Fury is a Minotaur. It's the best I think I can describe it right this second. I need time. But
What does that mean for us getting the fuck out of here?
No, we gotta go. This is bad. But also fascinating.
No, it's not. And Valerie grabs
the chain of your life.
wrist.
It's like the chain of your life stretches back to this mahogany desk. It's amazing.
And it can stay there for all I fucking care. And just grabbing both Christopher and Max and pulling them.
Yes, as you were being pulled, you were also pulling along Laurel, who is like kind of bumping themselves against the wall and crashing through. It's almost like a Katamari happening over there now. And you are actually dragged away before the Minotaur grabs their ice axe and tries to cleave your form in two. Laurel, Valerie's chain is sort of like drags you just out of the way of the axe. Max.
That's me.
People are leading you around this labyrinth and are talking about chains and all this other stuff. And what are you doing right now? How are you feeling?
Panicked, just totally panicked. She doesn't know what to do. She has got her in her hand, still clutched, just out of like pure like instinct. She's got her phone up, and I imagine it's still recording, but she's not like facing it in any real direction. It's just like sort of, Blair Witch horroring it as she's running. And then when everyone stopped and turned around, she's like, what? It's catching this whole conversation. But she's like just wide-eyed, like Christopher knows more about the situation than anyone, so she's following him, but she is like very concerned about a tree and chains and a desk and everything else that's going on. So yeah, she's I think maybe at this point, as he's talking, like looks and realizes she's still recording. And so she's gonna, I think, hold up her phone and kind of like see if she sees anything different on the phone than she sees through her own eyes.
You do. You see a nun. You see a nun with a bloody mouth and a dirty habit, and she's right behind you.
Oh my God, what? And she like turns around.
Nothing.
She flips the phone camera around and holds it up like in that same direction to see if she sees her through the camera again.
Oh, she's right there, and she's holding her arms out to you. She's floating just a little bit.
Do you see this?
When Chris looks, he does, yes.
Oh. Do I just see it in the phone? Or is it
you see it now that the attention's been pointed to it? It was like it was hiding even from your supernal senses.
Yes. But the nun is actually here in the labyrinth with us?
Well, it is ghostly, much like Laura was.
Okay. So I just sort of look, I was like, oh hi. She's visiting too. She's visiting.
What does she want? What do you
I
want?
don't know.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
We're sort
We're
of
trying
like,
to leave.
what do you? Yeah,
No
yeah. We're
problem.
trying to go. Do you need something? Can we walk and talk? He says to the nun.
You're walking, you're talking, and she's just kind of following you with open arms, like she's like placating to you wayward children. She's very much dressed like the one of the nuns from the show that showed up randomly at the hospital.
Oh yeah, she looks familiar. Have you seen her before?
Oh, no.
And when you question her a bit too long, she just evaporates, like morning mist.
Where'd she go?
I don't know. I think it's a perception
Max
thing.
is going like this, like trying to like see if she can find her again.
No, none. But as you are walking and talking and yelling, the Minotaur does pop up in your camera. And Laurel, you've had a good slap fight with the with the Minotaur.
He definitely would have been pissed about being yanked on the chain. Nobody yanks his chain. And is now realizing that everyone in here is real. Max saw him in his underwear. That's his crush. And he's like, 2 for 2 and cringe as fuck. So instead of yelling his rage, because he thought that's what you should do when you're angry, he's doing the thing that where his jaw is like locked tight. He's grinding his teeth and he is fucking pissed. So he's gonna dive on the Minotaur and bite him.
Okay, roll your soul.
That's 1d10, right? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm scared.
Two D10.
Oh, it's 2?
Yeah.
Oh shit. That changes things. Oh my god. 16. That feels good. That feels okay. I'm gonna bite him.
Yeah, as you take a bite out of this Minotaur, you can taste his flesh and his rage and his fury, and all the times he's beaten Brian senseless and knocked him down. You can taste it in your mouth.
Definitely one of those like bite and spit scenarios, and then use my hand to be a lovely necklace for that minotaur. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and through your efforts and through your through your excellent roles and your willingness to help each other despite other rewards, you are able to make it to the portal. You the Minotaur has beaten feet deeper into the labyrinth. Somewhere in the distance you can hear the racking of a shotgun, but it's far away from you. And with one last heave, you all can make it back into the kitchen, into the yellow, dingy, smoked too much 1970s wood panel kitchen.
Do I wake up at home, or is my body
Yes,
here
you
now?
you
Okay.
wake up at home.
I immediately, when we are like come to, like go like hit my pockets of like the leather jacket I'm wearing. Of course, I'm overdressed for the situation, and like pull out my phone, immediately call Laurel.
I was in the middle of texting you. What happened?
Yeah, you wake up and your room is a mess. Your body was doing all kinds of nonsense while you were out.
I don't have any residue on me, right? It was just.
Of course you do.
Of course. Ew.
Valerie's just on the phone going, Laurel,
Oh my God.
Laurel, where are you?
I'm at home. Where the fuck are you?
What did you just have you been sleeping?
I was a bit of Minotaur in my sleep, and that was kind of cool.
Oh
But like,
my- okay, you were with that diner that we met in the first night that we properly met. Go there right now.
Okay. Give me a minute. Do I have time to shower first?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll meet you there.
Okay.
And
Cool.
She's gonna hang up and look at Max and Chris and
So
go,
Chris is
my car
so-
now.
You
So
you
Chris-
wake up and go ahead.
Chris has been basically, after you got a second and sort of fading in. Thing number one, he notices there are a bunch of pictures of Brian here for some reason, but then he will just sort of distracted. Just sort of will turn to Max. It's like, my God, we were just on another plane. We were like on another plane of existence. It's real.
I don't want to do that again. I was watching TikTok videos about people shifting. Is that what we did? Did we shift? What is that?
I think so. We shifted into another plane of existence for a
Are
minute.
you two Coco Loco right now? We need to go.
Yeah, this is probably not a great place. This place, we need to get out of here. This is a Minotaur's house.
Your words don't make sense. Valerie's getting this any way she can to get back to her car.
Yep.
She's freaking out. Right? Like Valerie is fully shaken for the first time in her life.
You can retrieve your monster SUVs and your cars. And
I've showered.
Laurel,
I've got my stun gun. I have a
by the
cool
by,
butterfly
while you were
knife.
showering, there was clotted blood in your teeth.
Ew. That all the Listerine in the world would not be enough.
Probably not. And
I'm gonna spritz my cactus on the way out.
And with everyone reconvening, I think it's time for a break.
Oh, yes. My God. Yes. No, that's good. I'm glad we broke there because I was tempted to start rifling because I was curious what a Minotaur's mail looked like, and I was going to start rifling through his
Grab it. Just grab it. We
personal
can look,
effects.
just look at it
you can
on the
totally
way.
grab
his
the
mail.
mail.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can grab his mail. Yeah, absolutely.
Centerfolds of cows.
Is there anything here?
Definitely in there.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
We will discuss
Farmer's
mail.
Digest.
We will discuss mail and need for bulk Listerine and bad and mediocre diner food after the break.
Excellent. Well, folks, we will be back in a little bit. I've got an interview on, so we will see you shortly. Welcome to the break. I am here with Drac, who is here to talk a bit about a podcast that he's involved in. Greetings.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm part of a very cool podcast called Sea Rados RPG. It's a mass campaign set in Canada in a fictitious town, which I can't remember the name of now.
Let me see. I had it right here in front of me, and now, of course, it went away. The Cadence,
No,
British
you're
Columbia.
Cadence, yes. Which actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if it's fictitious, so don't quote me on that. But it's in Canada. It's set in Canada because our GM is Canadian and Erin.
Oh, okay.
But it's so essentially I always describe it as Sailor Moon plus pop idols mushed together. Very magical girl themed. We all have transformation sequences. A lot of fun. But the general premise of it is that we're all high school students at school who are part of a pop idol like after school group. And in this world, people who are really invested in it's not just music, but I guess creation in general end up manifesting superpowers. And they are often able to use the superpowers to enhance their creativity in some way. And ours in particular is like pop idols, music, stuff like that. And I play a character called Jaden a lot. He's British actually, because I'm just very bad at accents. So I just decided I'm a British character who moved over to Canada because the schools there tend to be best for rising in pop idoldom. And that's the general premise of it. Obviously, I'm one of the main characters of many. Got some awesome people playing that I get to bounce off and play with all their own themes and tastes with their characters, which is very cool. My character, I took the very innocent and naive route with my character. So I just found that very fun. And hearing everyone else's characters, everyone else who was playing, they already have very much like a mean girl, the lead of the group, the kind of like fashionista. So I was like, I'm gonna be the guy who's just really sweet, almost to a fault, and is way too trusting and probably needs everyone's protection. Despite it being ridiculously powerful. I took the oh god, what was the playbook? I can't remember for the life of me. It's one of the most broken playbooks in my opinion. After the Doomed is pretty intense. I believe it is the Nova.
The Nova.
The Nova playbook. He's kind of like a cute little kid. He has ridiculous amounts of power, but is for the most part too scared and nice to use them. But he has been using them to create music with his friends, which it's been a very fun game to play with everyone. Unfortunately, very recently I had to step out of the podcast because I was juggling too many things.
Oh yeah.
So by the time you're probably watching this, the episode where I stepped away probably would have aired. But we left it open for me to return because I miss everyone already. But I also wanted to make sure I take care of my mental health and energy. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's been a ton of fun. It's really fun.
Cool. Well, yeah, Masks is a very cool game. We've done a series of it on this channel at some point, and it's just sort of neat, the idea, I think, of just sort of mixing the doing that superheroes as pop idols commentary thing that has been becoming more prevalent recently. But to do that in an RPG, very cool, and sort of combine that with a high school setting. I just can only imagine the kind of pressure that someone has got to be under.
It's pretty intense. There's one character, Vivi, who you quite literally that's their, I suppose, arc is specifically the pressure they're put under. My characters, so we all have very much our own kind of thing going on with each character, where with the combination of superpowers, high school, and pop idoldom, and trying to make it in either of those things. My Jaden Lot is very much a kid who thinks they have to grow up too fast. So the reason why they want to be a pop idol, not just because they enjoy it, because they do enjoy music, but they also want to become famous enough so they could provide for their parents, because they were like, oh, my parents work too hard, I want to make it easier for them. And I think, as sweet as that is definitely a problem especially for a high schooler to have put that pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be a very fun thing to explore.
Yeah, no, very cool, very cool. It's definitely just the idea of a high school already is just this incubator for all of these things going on, and just to just to apply that much additional pressure is a lot. But it's neat to see that that's being played out there. I was just looking over at at the website for the Super Idols podcast, and there's a lot of cool art on there.
Monster Monster on Twitter, the absolute legend. They did art for us. We because we were going for a very magical girl theme. We fully have transformations. We have like descriptions of our transformation sequences. So on the website you can see our normal form and then our pop idol form when we transform. It's very cool. Jaden Lot, they let me go a bit wild with Jaden Lot. So Jaden's power I went with was controlling the elements, so fire,
nice.
wind, earth, and water. And now, actually, I won't spoil that, but a bit more later on as well. But with my costume, they allowed me to have it change color depending on what element I'm using.
Oh, nice.
So you check the website, you can see the different variations of the outfits, of idol outfits that I have. It's very, they give us a lot of leeway with not just role play, but also the aesthetic and the art of it. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very cool.
That is neat. That's neat. And actually, if you go down and if you go onto the website and you click on cast, you can see all the character portraits. It's really cool. It's really cool just sort of seeing the art there. Really good, really good. And a lot of fan art on this site too, I've noticed. You've accumulated.
It's been so weird. I think Super Idols was the first actual play I was a part of that got like not just fan arts, but also like just direct fan responses. I've had people tweet me and like at me directly on Twitter talking about things that they found fun or funny about Jaden in their listen through, and it's been very cool. It's been very interesting.
Excellent. And I love that idea. It's this tier that you're trying to get up to. And actually, as I was looking over the world building section, it looks like you're actually there's like you're at this apparently this high school that's not quite the big main high school that folks go to. Like there's an academy, but you're not at the academy. So you're like just trying to that much even more pressure to compete well in a tournament and actually get we
actually have a bit of a rivalry with that academy, which has been very fun to play out as well.
Very cool, very cool. Well, if folks want to get a hold of this podcast, where should they go?
You can follow Super Idols RPG on Twitter. You can follow Erin Cerise, that's ERYNCERISE on YouTube. I believe it premieres there every third Sunday of the month, I believe. And you can also listen to it on anywhere you find podcasts. You can find it there as well. Excellent.
And where should folks go if they want to find you?
To find me, you can follow me on Twitter at Drakoniques. That's DRAKONIQES. You can follow me on Instagram as well, but I'll be honest, I'm not on there often. I'm trying to be on there more often, but I'm probably not going to be. Twitter is the best place to find out what I'm doing at any given moment and see what I'm up to, because it's honestly, I've been lucky enough for it to be constantly changing and updating, so keep an eye out there.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, folks, and we're going to throw things back to my future self, whatever the hell he's doing right now. So do take care, and we will see you all of a sudden. We have returned.
Welcome back, everyone. Last we left off, our brave players here had just survived the labyrinth and the Minotaur, and had made their way into dingy light in a smoke-tinted kitchen, and out into the dark night to their SUVs to convene at a diner. Chris has stolen Mr. Fury's mail.
I probably wouldn't have taken anything terribly important if I could help it. I might have grabbed like junk mail or something, just because I don't want to arouse his ire.
I think you're a little late there, but
that's fair. That's fair. We probably should only if there was anything interesting looking, I guess, on the way out briefly.
Well, it was a fat bundle of mail. Like, they don't actually get their mail in a long time, so it's either all or nothing. You gotta either get all the mail or none of the mail.
We love a federal offense.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Just put a post-it note with "Return to Sender" on top. You're good.
It'll
Just
be all right.
pretend it was missing.
I'm coming back tomorrow, apparently. So,
yeah, you'll be back tomorrow, dropping someone off. You know, I've got my drink here. Thank you, hands. And yeah, you are. Laurel has showered. Laurel found the. Even though they were in this sort of quasi dream state, they woke up with the clotted blood of the Minotaur they bit between their teeth. There will never be enough Listerine ever again. And Max is having feelings.
Yeah, we got feels, but horror and fear being the first one, but then the second one is also hurt, pain.
Oh yeah.
Valerie is sweating, which is very strange for Valerie.
Man.
Yeah, that never happens for her.
Does Valerie wear antiperspirant? Because do they expect
Valerie
to
gets the Botox in her armpit so she doesn't sweat. Like, that's
okay.
how serious it is for Valerie.
Okay, I just want to know how deep it was for Valerie.
She's sweating, like brow heavy with sweat. Shaking a little bit. Definitely not keeping it together like she usually does. And staring daggers at Laurel because, like, he was there. But he keeps saying that he wasn't.
So, Laurel, I think that you would arrive last because you took time to shower while everybody else was kind of beating feet to get away from the source of their terror. You had time to wake up, process, spit out blood, and get here.
Definitely, I don't tell anybody about the blood in the mouth. There are just some things that you keep between you and whatever god you believe in, and if that's none, just you and maybe your cactus.
The only thing that's going to be really awkward is the tendons you're going to have to get out with like a toothpick. That's awkward. Or floss.
Oh, definitely have one of those floss pickers on the way here then.
Okay.
Just like kind of.
I really shouldn't ask this question. I really, really shouldn't ask this question. Is it like steak?
I mean,
I think actually, as a person who's eaten ostrich, it would be more akin to ostrich because it would be it's all that used muscle.
Someone told me if we were to eat people, it's more like frog meat.
Well, no, I was I've heard.
And I think I bit more of the human part of the Minotaur.
Well, yeah, this thing is, I've heard that people are like pork, but I was just curious if Minotaurs taste more like steak. That's
close to steak, but there's definitely something sideways and wrong about it. It might be all of the beatings.
And hybrid red meat.
Yeah. I was thinking it was like pork crust with frog. That was because
the beatings will continue until the steak improves.
Meat tenderizer is what they call it.
So you're at a diner. You've all rushed in. The waitress that you saw a few nights ago is looking askance at all of you. She's awkwardly, not awkwardly, but absently chewing her gum while also giving you this kind of what the fuck look, as you kind of just crash in here, especially little Miss Thang over here who's sweating today.
I left her $100 bill.
You're still a bitch.
I mean, okay, yes, true, but still, she's gonna get paid good.
Sometimes getting paid good and
It ain't
suffering
worth it.
people,
It ain't worth it.
ain't even worth it. It's not worth it to suffer people's bullshit, but you also need a job. But she's definitely gonna look like.
That's fine. I mean, it's fine. Valerie is not worried about that.
Gonna wave her down and say, excuse me, miss. Can I get an order of a spinach and mushroom omelet, please?
Yeah, she walks over. She flips over a notebook and looks up and says, "All right."
Do you have any Valerie looks at like the little, I'm assuming this diner has one of those like glass like pie containers.
Absolutely.
How many pies are on there? Just one, or like a couple? Like a selection?
There is a chocolate silk pie. There's a peanut butter silk pie. There's a cheesecake. There's also some sort of giant, oversized Oreo cake with half Oreos cut on top as a garnish, and then piped with buttercream.
I think Valerie's a very classic person. I want the whole cheesecake.
All right, I can get you a whole cheesecake. You want some cherries on that?
If you're offering, I would love that. Thank you.
All right.
You don't perhaps serve alcohol, do you? No, actually,
we can.
That's fine. If you could bring me a Coke. And she takes out the the fucking flask of basically lighter fluid she got from the house.
Oh my God.
Are you okay, honey?
That's true.
No, but thank you for asking.
And she will.
I'm sorry.
She'll ask Max. What you having?
Just a water for me. Yeah.
Sir?
What? Oh, right. Food. Yeah. I don't know if I can eat anything. Yeah, I'll just get like coffee.
All right.
Coffee would be good. Yeah, and then like what do you? And he just randomly looks at at just in a random direction. Toast. Sure, I'll have a toast, whatever that is. Yeah.
All right, toast.
Yeah.
And
toast
then can I
coffee.
also have some orange juice and some sausage links and some sausage patties and some bacon and some turkey bacon? And
yeah, sugar.
Oh,
you can
turkey
have
bacon
all
actually sounds good. If I could get some of that too, I'd appreciate that. That would be
that.
good.
All right, we're just gonna be got a little hop along thing going on here. I see.
Long night.
And she, looks down, looks up, looks down, looks up. Turkey bacon sound good to anyone else?
I just really want that cheesecake. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. She turns around and she puts in your order, and she grabs she has a carafe of coffee made for the table, and she puts some cups down on a tray because it seems like the type of table that will order coffee later after the fact, and she doesn't want to be bothered.
Smart lady.
And she will come back with the cheesecake on a glass cake stand. It has been covered with cherries for you, and there is a pie cutter that has been chilled, and that is all placed directly in front of you, pointedly in front of you.
Valerie, who has been on a very strict diet, has not ate sweets for a very long time, despite only having a year to live, officially just looks at the cheesecake for a moment and goes, "Fuck it," and doesn't offer anyone a slice. Just takes her fork and just like a fucking gremlin, just elbows on the table, gone into that fucking cheesecake.
In the way of diner pastries, it's fucking delicious.
Oh,
It's is filled with nothing but butter and graham crackers and entirely too many calories, and it is delicious.
The most Philadelphia cream cheese.
Oh, yes.
Like somebody is going to have some sort of like like sugar coma. It's going to happen from this cheesecake right here.
Bad way to find out you're lactose intolerant.
And those are definitely canned cherries. The extra sweet canned cherries.
Yeah, that's what makes it better. Yeah.
This is like the type of indulgence that if Val were to kiss somebody and they were lactose intolerant, they would instantly have to go shit. Like, I'm getting that energy. It's like, I'm sorry, but you ever just,
it is a lot. It's a lot of cheese, a lot of gluten, a lot of everything.
Needs the lactates. I feel like while you're doing that, I'm like the quiet feral, just like eating all of the meat that I ordered and not touching my omelet.
Yeah, I think Christopher is kind of chatting a little bit of folks if anyone else is saying anything, but he's also, while he's doing it, he's sort of absentmindedly looking at these pieces of mail that he detached from the wad that's back in the car, and is just kind of looking at them briefly a little bit.
You've got your AARP, you've got a couple hover around like ads. He's Mr. Fury is about that age. He's a very spry guy. Yeah. Also, a couple ads for that phone, the entirely too big keys on it.
Cricket Cellular.
Yeah, like the Cricket Cellular.
Jitterbug.
That's a Jitterbug. Yes, the Jitterbug phone with the entirely too big keys. RV sales. He's actually been shopping for loans for an RV.
Oh, okay. What's his first name? Or at least what first name is on the mail?
His first name, let me look at my notes here.
Sorry.
His first name is Adam.
Adam Fury. Okay.
Can I quickly interject and figure out where everyone's sitting right now in this booth?
I think
it's very fun if Valerie is between Christopher and Max.
Oh, yes. So I'm like by myself on one side. Okay.
Oh, by myself.
Oh no.
I just think it's really fun and chaotic.
Well,
and
I mean, it
is ignoring both of them.
I mean,
I picture Chris like tucked in the corner the furthest because he wants to look at the mail.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, so it's a big diner booth with the big red, like leather, like faux leather cushioned seats. Yeah. So you have an entire spread of food you're not eating in front of you, Laurel, and you've got these three kind of smashed on one side.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely eating all the meat. He's just not eating his omelet.
Yeah.
And it's like very slow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely got he's National Rifle Foundation,
Oh yeah.
He's got all the, and then there's some personal correspondence.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna open it yet, but I will try to note who if there's a return address, if it says who it's from.
It's from Our Ladies of Mercy.
Our Ladies of Mercy. I'm just sort of looking at it. Huh. It was just and he's been making sort of offhanded remarks, kind of as he's going through. It's like, I wonder how long the Minotaur has been in AARP. And it's just sort of looking through, and then he's like, "Our Sisters of Mercy." Huh. Then, sort of. What is the term that we use nowadays? Because for some reason, only Shakespeare is in my head right now, and I'm calling it a nunnery.
That's what I've called it.
It's still called a nunnery?
Is it like known as an orphanage or something? Other than that, or
is
it a nunnery?
They are known as they are known as a charity that deals in. They're not directly branded as an orphanage. They are a charity that deals in child welfare issues.
Okay. Like, huh. So there's a Sisters of Mercy charity, which that's weird. Sort of tied to. Was Brian talking to those nuns at some point? Maybe he was. I don't know. I wasn't seeing. I didn't.
He was. He was talking to those nuns at some point.
And so I just sort of am basically putting that together. I'm like, huh. Yeah, he's got some. So why Why would the nuns have a relationship with the Minotaur? Those are like two completely different religions. Maybe there's, I don't know. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's something. This is so weird. Sorry. Yeah, but yeah, there's connection of some kind with that nun that we saw. Maybe she was interested in.
But wait, you saw see, Valerie was running, did not see the nun. Valerie's just like, wait, you mouthful of cheesecake. Wait, you saw a nun.
Yeah, she was, I think, asleep, like Laurel was. I think.
She looked like she had blood on her mouth, right? Like in dirty robes. Like,
Weren't there also
You-
nuns at your rave?
I didn't invite any nuns.
There
but-
were totally a bunch of nuns. They
There
all
were a
came in
few.
bunch of trucks and vans.
There's a Max. There's a as you're looking at Valerie and you're looking at this whole kind of cheesecake tableau, you can see the bloody mouth of the nun in the image of the cheesecake with the cherries running down the cut slice. It's a split second thing right there. It's right there in the cheesecake.
Were you streaming at the time? Like,
Oh yeah, did
Did
you get
you-
any of that? Did any of that show up on the camera? Is it in your video files?
we're being.
We
so
have the
distracted
labyrinth
for
on
this
video?
cheesecake right now. Yeah. Do you have a VOD? Did you?
Wait, okay, wait, hold on. There's a VOD for the party. The police didn't ask me to take it down, so it still should be up. I did get a video of when we were down there. I was recording, so she's like pulls out her phone and is like trying to like go back, like like scroll back on the little phone thing, but it's really difficult to kind of get it to move
As
in the
you're
right direction.
as you're scrolling backwards and forwards, you catch a clip of the nun where the nun is choking you.
No, she was choking me.
Is this like Hollow? Is this like generic scary nun, or is this like the nun, the franchise looking type of nun, like overly horror?
Well, it's kind of a mix between the two. She had a dingy, dirty habit, but otherwise she was, presentable.
Okay.
But her mouth was just a torrent of bloody mess.
Valerie whips her attention over to Christopher. This doesn't have anything to do with the fire, does it? That wasn't a nun situation, was it?
Well, there were nuns there that night.
Only at night?
Wait, wait, you mean that fire?
I mean, yeah.
that fire. I don't remember there being nuns. I don't think. I mean, it was the organized religions didn't like us too much. We were kind of a out of the way commune. We just sort of were living off of
convent or something.
Max is like grabbing
Convent,
at her
that was the
throat,
word I was
trying
looking
to
for.
like she's like doing like this, like she was choking me.
It's sore.
Max, are
Is
you
there-
okay?
She does this. She's just like, is there anything on my neck?
Laurel's
As
gonna
you-
like lean really close and look.
As you look, there is the bruise pattern forming of someone grabbing violently around their neck.
Is it like?
It's like full on hand,
Oh, okay.
full hand, like someone grabbed and squeezed, and it definitely wasn't happening at the moment, but you're looking and you're looking at the video, and when you scroll backwards, it goes away. If you scroll forwards, it reappears again, and your neck is sore. Backwards, gone, and forwards.
Oh my god. What happened?
Right now, though, right?
Does it happen if someone else? Hang on a second. May I? And then Laurel puts his hand out for Max's phone
Yeah, she flips it over and pushes it towards him.
and then kind of slides it back and forth. Does it only show up on Max's neck, or is it depending on who's holding the device?
When you're holding the device, you just see the nun with the arms outstretched, chasing, kind of like absently chasing after Max.
But when I scrub through, there's no.
There's no choke scene.
Okay. Oh, that's terrifying. And then, well, It's a different video when I do it. I also don't know how you can find this appetizing anymore. And he gestures at the cheesecake,
like
and
you
he
get
gestures at her face.
yeah, like
Maybe-
you like when you're scrolling through, you see Max like doing the looking behind themselves, then suddenly the nun's back there, and then they're flashing their camera around looking, and the nun is still there. But while Max was holding the phone, it was definitely a completely different set of scenes.
And
during that back half of of things.
Yeah. But it is showing the interior of the labyrinth also is in the background.
Yes, you do see you see the bleeding mahogany desk and the tree growing from it in the background. You can also see the wand sun as the panning is happening, which was the entrance or the exit, depending on your point of view.
It's amazing.
Is it okay if I send this to myself?
It would take a while. That's a lot of footage.
And then let me just clip this part, and then he makes like a quick duplicate, because it's Max and Laurel are young. They know their way around smartphones. And then he sends himself the clip, and he's like, if you need me, you've got my number too. And then slides her phone across the table and just watches it on his own end.
Would it be all right if I get like that last section you panned over where it had that had that tree in the background?
Yeah.
Possibly send that to me. Would that be okay?
Yeah. She clips it and sends that piece over.
Thank you. Are you okay? I'm sorry. And he's sort of craning around Valerie to sort of see, because he didn't see the bruises or anything because he's like on the other side. And so he's like,
I've been better. Yeah. I didn't fear nuns before, but new fear.
I mean, they've got I don't know, a lot of them have agendas, from my experience, but so I don't get along well with clergy that much, but that's, I mean, this is the kind of thing that we've sort of been looking for, yeah? I mean, this is definitely like supernatural, right?
Yeah. That's what I was looking for. She reaches over and pours a cup of coffee and is like gripping it, not drinking it, but gripping it in her hands, like just to like get some kind of warmth. Because I think she's gone cold. She's just like totally out of it. Like,
is anyone here to support you? Do you have somewhere that you feel safe you can go to? Because that's kind of fucking scary, Max. I've watched a lot of your videos, and this is definitely not your usual.
yeah, I was trying to get into something new. I heard that house was haunted, and I headed there, and then I don't know. You said there were chains like connecting us. Like I've heard about like the string that connects two hearts or whatever, but like chains.
Yeah, I don't know what it all means.
It definitely felt something because I got yanked at one point.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there were chains.
Like,
I don't know if they were entirely physical or if they were like ethereal or what. But they were all sort of
have
drawn
strings
back
instead of chains. It just seems very foreboding and
yeah.
violent.
I'd always thought if you were traveling astrally that you'd get like some kind of a silver cord or something. I think I'd heard that or something, but that's I don't know how this
Also
whole thing
very, like,
works.
Dickens, and I don't really particularly like that.
There's a bit of Dickens in that too. Yeah. Yeah. It's not pleasant to think about. That was not a pleasant place. But especially that desk. Everything seemed to go connected. There was like a big desk looking thing, and it was incongruous, but then again, considering where we were.
Hollow, I saw my quote unquote like contract on that desk because I rolled fucking high, right?
Yes, you saw it, and you saw all of the the sort of the powers and dominions that were connected back to that contract to you.
I saw the demon / devil, whatever that holds
Yes.
my contract.
Mhm.
Yes.
Is it a name that I can remember?
Yes. And their name is Malkuth.
Malkuth. Okay.
And the Archon who controls it is Yesod.
Yesod. I remember Yesod. Okay, so Malkuth and Yesod. I think just Valerie casually just sort of leaves back from her cheesecake dinner and is like, anyone is familiar with the name Malkuth?
Starts doing a Google search on my phone. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, who's Malkuth?
A name that I saw in the labyrinth. I was just curious if anyone knew. Had anything to do with it.
I mean, it could be. There are a lot of. I mean, there's so much packed into this. I don't know what it all means. And you can sort of tell as sort of Christopher has been sort of rambling about this off and on that he's reading into the experience. He doesn't actually know lore about this labyrinth. He's just kind of imagining crap and connecting with stuff that he's heard of. So
a very cursory internet search would give you that Malkuth is the Sephiroth is representing kingdom. So this is maybe a demon who fancies themselves a maker of kings and queens or of kingdoms themselves. A mirror.
Like in this world, Laurel is saying a lot of like anime games with trees as the final boss.
Also, yes, that is also used very often in anime for a dozen things, especially Star Ocean.
Yeah.
So that's what you would get from a cursory internet search. Would be a bunch of anime and also the Sephiroth and Malkuth being the kingdom. And its inverse lies on the Kilpath, which is the tree of death.
Oh, we have a piece of mail.
Right. Yeah. So
we
I
have
mean,
a name.
Yeah.
Malkuth, and we have a video of me getting choked out that doesn't appear for anyone but me. And we have chains and a desk and a tree.
Yeah, and in a few hours, I'm supposed to go and pick up Acetylene and take him back there to the house we were in.
I think we should ever go back in that area, honestly.
Get him an Uber home.
He probably knows something.
Well, only you have to go. Could we maybe get stuff ready if you plan on going back?
I mean, I gotta return this. He says, just sort of holding up the pieces of mail.
You can return that to the dumpster out back. I can set your friend up.
Yeah, he did try to kill us. I suppose we don't owe him any favors.
I can put your friend up in a hotel for a few days.
As you are all talking, you see a group of nuns walking past the diner.
No, don't like
Max
that.
ducks.
Laurel very obviously leans.
So just a quick aside, because for our viewers, we pulled on this for the scene the tarot, the Archon chesses, which is the principle of safety or the desire to want to be safe. We also have the 3 and 4 of roses here. The 3 and 4 of roses represents survival and growth. Maybe individual growth, spiritual growth, the growth of a location, the survival of a location, survival against odds. We also have the 4 of eyes, which represents distraction. Distractions in everyday life that make you blind to the truth, that make you blind to what's really going on, like intrusive telephone calls, robocalls in this day and age, right? Hey, we're looking for your car insurance. Advertising chains, fast food, media scandals, all those things that really just kind of distract you from reaching your inner self or reaching any sort of physical or spiritual or even meditative, mindful state that keep you on edge and keep you off kilter. That's what the Four of Eyes represents. And of course, because our party can't stay away from the concept of death, we pulled the Six of Skulls.
I hate that so much.
A party.
And the Six of Skulls is the flesh, the body as a shell, morbid surgeons, morgues, societies that are evolved in death magic, cannibalistic cults, minotaurs who eat people or get et.
Grumdiddlyumptious.
And I think that the nuns walking by is a perfect encapsulation of the desire for safety, walking past this diner that is being a safe haven and now unsettling you.
Yeah. Just so you'll know, it looks like Hollow. It looks like your image is frozen. The cards still seem to be moving.
That's a little weird.
But yeah, it's very surreal.
That is surreal. Well, the show is going to go on, and it's going to figure that out. Yeah, it's actually frozen on my my OBS too. Let's just figure that out.
Okay. Yeah. And let me know if you need to leap back in, jump out and leap back in or whatever. We'll take care of that. If we need to break or whatever, we can do that.
No, it's we are close to time anyway.
Or if you'd rather be frozen or invisible, we can still do that.
I'm going to just let myself be. No.
You can always get under the other camera.
No big deal. But yeah, the cards are definitely moving. Hello.
Perfect. Well, shit has gone kind of sideways in this game, so this is perfect.
Well, hello there, everyone.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
I don't think I have a way to turn
No,
that
we're good.
90 degrees.
No, this is great. This is
No,
fantastic.
this is exactly what we need.
So that's where we are. The nuns are walking by, and
You said there were four of them?
There are four of them. They are looking at you. And they all whisper conspiratorially to themselves. And then they keep on down the road.
I'm going to ask them some questions, and Laurel just darts.
Wait, Laurel, don't. Valerie's she's stuck in between two people. She can't stop you, but she does not
Laurel.
like this.
Max is like, where is he going?
To get us in trouble.
He's going to question the nuns. Sort of.
You speak to the nuns.
Trying to get up.
Max slides out and then goes over to the side that Laurel was on and crouches in the warm spot left behind from Laurel.
Excuse me, sisters. Excuse me.
One of them stooped over, decrepit, looks at you. Yes.
Oh, I thought this was going to be more fun. I don't like this.
Can I help you?
Yes. Sister, I've seen you before. Were you at a party recently near the
Oh, my party days have been long past.
Okay. Well, sister, may I ask your name?
Oh, I'm Sister Ethel.
Ethel. Nice to meet you, Sister Ethel. My name is Lawrence. He's learning to lie.
Oh, Lawrence, what a saint you are. And she grabs your hands and just like, blessed you be, Lawrence.
Can I ask which church you belong to? I know it's the Church of God, but like which physical one? Because it's been a minute since I've been a man of faith, and I'd like to find it again.
Oh, bless you. Well, you should come by. We've just opened up an old hospital. Our Sisters of Mercy.
You're hospital based? You don't operate out of a church?
Oh, well, worship can happen anywhere where we let God in. Don't you agree, Lawrence?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not really keen on going to a hospital. I'm used to going to a house of God.
Well, we have a small chapel, and we'd be happy to have you during Mass.
Okay. And then he kind of leans. Are the other nuns here, or did they like move on?
Oh no, they're right here. They are all locked up with Sister Ethel.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sister. What's the address?
And she gives you the address of the hospital where you were singing Room 5.
Wait, really? The same one? I thought that was. Wait a second. And then.
Yeah. There she said. Yeah. Said they just opened it.
Bless you, Lawrence. Bless you, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Be careful.
I will do my best, Sister Ethel. That is really fascinating that you found contractors to move that quick.
Well,
a real act of God. Yeah. All right. Well, you have a blessed day. And he would take one of her hands and kind of do the.
I want to know, does Laurel get rancid vibes? Are the vibes cool?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking they're off.
I mean, you can definitely peek.
What is this? Is this a perception or an intuition? Intuition?
You can make an intuition roll. Do you also have to peek past the veil move as well?
Okay.
Do it in this voice.
15.
God. 15. Sister Ethel smells like mothballs and meat. Sister Ethel feels like a bad shower with soft water and no suds.
That's such a good description. Damn.
So that's what she felt like to the touch too, was just like,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way back into the diner and like kind of nod and just be like, thank you, and just kind of rub that off on my pants.
As you're heading back to the diner, you might note that Chris is like pressed up against the window, because I feel like if it's a booth thing and he can't get out still because Valerie's like on the other side, so he's like pressed up against the window and has been looking and sort of trying to watch what's been going on. I am curious if any of the nuns in that cluster were the same as the choking nun. Or the
the backmost nun is your choker nun.
Oh,
hate that's the name we've given her.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I regret it immediately.
Nope, that's her name now. Choking McNunn.
Oh no.
Well, Laurel's gonna slide in, still like rubbing his hands off on his pants. He goes, "Hey, you know that hospital we were at?
Yeah.
The one with the
they have that now. They built in like 4 or 5 days.
Oh my God.
They have a hospital operating over there now.
To be fair, I mean, when Max and I went inside, there was a lot of shit left over. It was.
Evelyn wanted to get in there really badly too.
Yeah, they moved in pretty quick. So
there was like people's records and things just left behind.
Yeah,
they're all working together on. There's something they want in the hospital.
Also, her name was Ethel, and she felt really weird, and she smelled even worse. I can't describe it. I feel like I can taste her.
That nun that was in the labyrinth also was in in that group. I don't know if you saw that.
Shit. Cranes and they're already gone. Yeah.
They've already gone. Ethel and her crew.
But old Max, we heard things. I wasn't making that up. I was pretending I was making it up at the time because it was such a silly situation, but things were off in there.
I think you're muted, Max.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Things were off for sure. I just don't see how it's possible in this many days that it would be up and working. It looked like crap.
Did it even have power?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It did have very, very bad stability because I was almost murdered.
Yeah, I mean, it would have taken like serious construction, like
as
get it
a thing. What do you call it? Something fell down from the ceiling and almost decapitated me.
it was a pipe or something, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
It's within walking distance.
One of the servers asked you, what hospital y'all talking about?
The one the nuns just opened up.
Oh, that's always been there.
It's not always been open though, has it?
Oh, it's always been open.
We were just in there 5 days ago and it was decrepit and abandoned.
Max is pulling up the stream and pulling up the VOD like right now.
I mean, yeah, the VOD's there, and the VOD definitely says otherwise, but this person's telling you that our hospital's always been open.
So is it like like people volunteering their time to help people type of thing? It wasn't a state board approved hospital or anything, right?
Oh, you know, some nuns have been running it. It's like a Catholic hospital. You know, it's the whole thing.
How long have they been running it?
Years.
Wait, you remember me from the other day, right?
Yeah, you fell or something like that, and you had like flash mob or something.
Not, I wouldn't exactly call it that.
What?
I didn't really do that.
You remember me coming in here, don't you?
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Can you remember what she was wearing? It was really extravagant.
Yeah, she explains that she all her time is accounted for, except for the idea of this hospital.
I think thank you for your graphic description. It's very helpful. I think that we need to like Laurel said earlier, it is within walking distance.
We can always drive by in one of your cars if we need to exit pretty quick, but it's not too far.
Are you proposing we go to that hospital?
Just
yes, of course.
go by it.
One of those bitches choked me.
We don't have
Anywhere
to.
near that house.
We don't have to
To be-
stop there.
To be fair, we didn't even know about the choking until we got here. We were running from a minotaur, but from the nun, you seemed perfectly safe in the moment.
Do you want to stay
Well,
here?
yeah, but I mean,
someone.
they shouldn't have to go back if that's gonna if they don't want to.
Val and I could always scout it out and record it on our phones and see what's up. It shouldn't be too long. It's just around the corner. We're pretty close.
I mean,
to
you two
it.
could wait here.
Yeah, I mean, Max, do you want me to just hang back and stay here with you? Do you want to do that?
No, if we're gonna get some answers, we should go.
Max, I don't want you to be in a situation that's uncomfortable for you. But Valerie says it's completely I'm pretty sure being condescending as fuck. She's being a complete bitch to Max.
Max looks down at her lap, and like she's like her hands are in her lap and she's wringing them, and then she looks up at Val and says, "Don't be condescending, you bitch."
Val looks at Max and says, "All right, then be a coward." And she's going to
Hey.
as much as she can, like get out of the booth around Chris and Laurel. I mean,
Come on,
it
Val.
is making the situation completely awkward and bad.
She's like, Max like puts her hand up and she's like, look, you strung me along for months, Val.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She played it off like she wasn't dating you. She looks at Chris. So I mean, that's something. But you know, I'm a scaredy cat bitch. Right.
I'm not dating
What?
anyone. I am
What?
not tied down to anyone, Max. And I thought I made that clear to you.
I
I
see.
mean, I could just go by myself. It's fine. I
No, you're not going by yourself. I want answers. Someone's going to fuck with me, and the only amount of time I have left in this earth, I want to know who the fuck it is.
I will say, Val, I know you're my my boss, but we could be a touch nicer to the folks who aren't trying to harm us, if that's okay. If that's a small request for me, I mean, we can skip.
I'm being perfectly nice. right
Oh,
now.
okay. All
Val-
right. Well,
Valerie, there's clearly a lot to do right now. And Chris's expression has just sort of shifted like 180 degrees at this point. I don't know if you've ever actually seen him this either focused or serious, or is it angry? It's hard to know. But he says, Valerie, there's a lot that we need to take care of right now. There's a lot going on right now. There's clearly a lot you need to do right now as well, as do I. But when this is all done, we are going to talk about this.
All right. Whatever helps you sleep at night, Christopher.
I don't sleep much these days, but we'll talk about it.
one moment, and then he's
I
gonna
think,
dart and just pay for the bill and
listen,
put like
I
a
think
$200
maybe,
tip.
yeah.
We're servers.
I'm going to look over at Max and like, do you still want to go to the hospital? Are you okay to do that? Or do you want to hang back?
Yeah, I think the fear's gone at this point.
Okay. All right. I'm good to go then.
And you all are some way making a cord to get to the hospital. Where a lot of this began. And you see that it is there. It is operational. It has, there are nuns on duty. There are porters. As if this has always been running this way.
You know, Max, on the upside, you don't know what Minotaur tastes like. So maybe this isn't that bad.
As you are all staring in some mixture of consternation, disbelief, anger, over a mixture of anger over several overlapping situations, there is the unmistakable smell of charnel on the air. There is the unmistakable film of not being able to wash that is covering your bodies as you stare, and there is a blue aura that menaces you from the hospital. As I pull the final card for tonight, the Archon Astaroth. That's what we have for tonight.
Max, fire your research team. This is fully operational.
Max, how did you get a whole hospital to clear out for a rave? That's so cool.
I know, got it all done up like it was abandoned.
Yeah, you can put a party together so quick.
That would be really fun to dive into next time, is like all of Max's notes and see if they still exist.
Ooh, yeah.
Because like, what if those are blanked?
Ow.
Damn.
Fun times.
What if?
Wow.
Got a
Yeah.
lot happened.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about it. It's such a thing. To be fair,
No, it's
to be fair, I did warn every single one of you at
No,
the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
She's going to be a massive bitch.
No, it's
No,
great. I
that's
love
great.
it.
It's great.
I'm here for
No,
it.
no,
I
I think as
Me
long as
as a, like
everybody's
a
okay, I think this is
Yeah.
great.
exactly,
Okay.
and me as a person, like I'm the type of person that in those like Telltale games, I only pick the nice options.
Uh-huh.
But this comes so easily.
Why is
Listen,
it
if I
easy?
had 6 months left and it was because of some sort of demon, I think I'd be petty too.
Oh yeah.
I'd swing in every direction, mostly up. But you know,
Look, I'm just working with what I got.
no, it's great. It's great.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. No. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. So this is so yeah. I'm very excited to see where this leads and what the significance of the hospital is, and the significance of basically everything else that's been going on with this. I think we're gonna go ahead and close things out though by doing our outros. So we're gonna go around and folks can say and any where you can find them. Feel free to plug whatever you like, and then any final thoughts you have about this episode or favorite bits or what have you. And we are going to start with our storyteller, Hollow.
Hey, I'm Hollow, World Arbiter here, Game Master, Storyteller. I really enjoyed having to look into this camera and be Ethel. That was fantastic. Just being old and
Also a fun killer and having to tell everybody about having a wonderful time. I enjoy that profusely.
And I really enjoy everybody's role play and interaction. I also, I really like, people seem to dread it, but I really love the storyteller making like disparate threads come together, especially party members when they're not together, just kind of making that still work.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I had a great time with that.
yeah. Oh yeah, that nun. Wow. Yeah, no, that was so good. All right. Did you give any your
Oh
contact?
yeah,
I
I'm
forget.
yeah. You can follow. You can find me on Twitter at Hollow Invective. You can also find you can find me on Start Playing Games as Hollow Invective. If you would like me to DM a game, maybe a game of KULT, you can definitely find me on there. And every other week, you can find me on Majestic Goose Network playing another old man named Erasmus Fowler on Crits and Knits, which is a actual play D&D podcast about geriatric adventurers from a knitting club trying to save the day one last time.
Nice. Excellent. And now let us head over to Kortney.
Hey, hi, hello, and howdy. But also now good night. It was fun to be in a nightmare scenario. Let's see, I stream Nancy Drew games. I'm almost done with all of them. I play a lot of adventure games over on my channel. I tweet, but not as much as I used to because the studio I work at, we just released the Steam page for our game. It is a music composition puzzle game. You can wish list it now. It is about a zombie apocalypse and navigating it through music. It's called Distraction Machine. So that's pretty cool. You should check it out or else. Thank you.
Or else Laura will bite you.
And-
It's true. I'm sorry. I've been wanting to do that all day for
That's
some
too
reason.
good.
That's
you get-
great. I love it.
We got one bit.
Did you get to say any final thoughts you had about the session?
I love taking my characters who are in their like early to mid 20s and just like main charactering it and making everyone else mildly uncomfortable. I'm so sorry. I love splitting the party. It's my favorite thing, and I will do it at every opportunity I can. Forgive me.
Nope. I literally have a move called Distract the Party split the party as a DM, and I never have to use it because you guys do it so well on your own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fair. That's very fair.
great.
Awesome.
He's given the chance to go in the direction of the party, or else it's like that meme with the car, that's Kortney. Split the party.
I played too many games where we never split up, and then when we did, everyone stopped having fun, and I'm like, I'm gonna go by myself and have the time of my life.
Hey, you met Ethel. That's great. Good
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I don't shy away from a character death. That's me.
Excellent.
Death is only the beginning. Tagline of Kult.
Yeah, death just means I get to make another character sheet. The best
I
part.
mean, yeah. Well, let's go.
Another,
Mhm.
only an enhanced Laurel.
Yeah, I mean, it's who else gets to be a Minotaur for a few minutes? That's excellent. And now let us head over to Katy.
Of course. I'm Katy. You can find me all over the internet at Katyface. I am also in a game on opposite or every other week. Not this week, so it'll be next week on Friends Who Roll Dice. It's a Monster of the Week actual play called Camp Carnage. We're camp counselors. There is something big and scary and shadowy in the woods, and that's all I know. And I also am a professional GM. I just posted a new game on Start Playing Games. I'm getting back into GM in D&D 5e because I need money and it's popular, not because I want to. But it is a short campaign for high level adventurers. If you're interested, it'll be starting up in October every other Wednesday. I would love to have you. But yeah, this was so much fun. I just love playing a mythic bitch. It is so much fun. And I also love playing against people who don't shy down from that. So like Max standing up to Valerie was just chef's kiss, the best moment. I fucking loved it. Yeah, that makes me very happy. Yeah, this was so much fun. I loved it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, no, that was so good. And I mean, just the way that you played this, you played Val tonight was excellent.
Fantastic.
Cheesecake.
Yes, I will remember that cheesecake.
Listen, she was under the influence of carbs and lactose, which she's had neither of in years.
That's fair. It's fair. Now let us head over to Marlo.
Hi, I'm Marlo. You can find me on Twitter at Marlo Bogwitch that's Bogwitch with 2 G's in it. I do a lot of different things. I have a show on Thursday nights of an augmented quietus game over on the Wandering DM. We changed up the rules, we made them weird and strange, and they're halfway through and things are starting to amp up. So hope you all go and check that one out. That's Thursday nights over there. I have a couple other things coming up this month. I'm working over, I've got 2 shows over on one shots on Lost Caravan. One's a Wild West weird game and the other is a Pathfinder game. It'll be my first time ever playing Pathfinder, as long as I've been playing tabletop games, and I've never played Pathfinder. So this is going to be great. Other than that, I also am on a podcast network, Misconceptions Podcast Network. We've got 2 shows over there. Sins of the Father is a 5e game with teenagers looking for their missing fathers. They have augmented stats, and things get sick, things get dire. We also have Tales to Inspire, which is a alternate history podcast with superheroes. We are in the 1940s fighting Nazis right now, and I'm playing a Hollywood starlet who has a lot of issues. She's a lot of fun, and she has telekinetic powers and telepathy. So come check us out. They're highly edited. We've got sound effects, we've got music, we've got all the great stuff that goes along with podcasting. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, that's all I think. I've got some stuff coming up in October, November. So watch out for that. I think I'll be playing Necrobiotic over on
I love it so much.
Yes.
I did a great play test of that. I love that game so much.
Yeah, we got to Mitch ran it for us over on the podcast for patrons, patron only content. So that was a lot of fun. And I backed it, so I haven't seen the book yet, but my art for my character, I backed it at high enough level. I got character art in it, so I'm very excited because my playtest character, or the like promo character that when we were doing it, is in there. So I'm very excited
Cool.
for that. And then I think that's really all I've got right now. Other things in the pipeline, but that's it. So hey, the bitch just came out. I really did not mean for that to come out, but Katie is the farthest thing from. Katie is amazing and the farthest thing from a bitch. So everyone know that if you cast her, you're gonna get a great cast member who's very much willing to work with everything. It was just too good. It was like it all came out, and Max is like, "Oh yeah, I'm mad at you." Blah.
I saw it, like I saw the cogs in your brain. You're like, should I do this? Should I? And I was rooting silently, going, "Please do it. Please fucking do it."
Love it.
This
love
better
it.
not awaken anything in me.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
That was the Minotaur.
Yeah. It was such a good moment, though. That was really just that turn. That turn in that conversation felt very real. It felt very good.
Yeah, good.
Good in the theatrical sense, maybe. But,
Not
I
not
should say.
good in things to come, sis.
Yeah.
It's
But-
just a menacing hospital. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Nothing is scarier than healthcare. So this is.
Yeah, I mean,
accurate.
yeah, that's no joke. This is very true. Oh God.
Do you have
Anyway.
anything else, Bogwitch?
Oh, that's it. That's all I
Okay,
got.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, awesome. Well, folks, who am I? I didn't know that at the beginning, and I still don't know. But in the meantime, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On the channel this Thursday in the afternoon, my friend Mike Carlucci, Lucci, will be back, and we're going to... we've been playing classic text adventures, and this Thursday we're starting Zork 2. And so we finished Zork 1 last time, and we do this every 2 weeks. And so we're gonna. This is one that I haven't played through before. I don't think so. There will be far less of a safety net, and this one there'll be more figuring stuff out. So we'll see how that goes. On Saturday nights is our Invisible Sun game. Our Invisible Sun game is coming to its end. We are starting back up this Saturday, and we've only got a handful of sessions left. And then that'll be it. We are zeroing in on the final universe-altering thing, and so we will see how folks react to that, and if there are any more brunches for them in the future. And then, of course, on Tuesday nights we have this, and this is glorious, and I cannot wait to see.
I'm so ready for next week
I
now.
know, right? Is it Tuesday? Is it next Tuesday yet? Is it? No, alas, not yet, but soon perhaps.
Soon.
Soon. Later. So also late September, early October, probably we're going to be starting up our short campaign of Dune. That is going to be happening. We're sorting out the schedule right now and figuring out. We're doing an off-stream session 0, so we're just sort of figuring out the timing for that, and we got to get our calendars spliced together properly. That'll be coming. I have just opened signups. Heavens help me! I have just opened signups for an ongoing campaign of Don't Rest Your Head. I just opened signups tonight. I haven't even posted them everywhere yet. But that is a horror, supernatural horror and
Right.
and urban fantasy game where you're playing insomniacs with strange abilities born by their insomnia, their exhaustion, the madness that accompanies it, and they've been awake long enough they can see the nightmares, and the nightmares can also see them. And they find doorways everywhere into the mad city where the nightmares live. And the nightmares know this and are pursuing them.
My
So-
superpower, and that would be Benadryl.
Mm.
Yeah, good.
Mm.
I'm so-
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Speaking.
Oh,
Yeah.
And-
I guess speaking of casting, I am going to be reopening my channel, starting off with a ensemble
Oh,
cast,
cool.
kind of Wets Marches style, episodic Shiver TTRPG game built in the flavor of Warehouse 13 called Aeon Archive. So that's going to be the reopener for my channel. So ensemble cast, so like, different, potentially different players or semi-different players every episode, to get everybody in there and have a taste of the Shiver system.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I've been hearing good things about that system. That's cool. Yeah, so do definitely check that out. But yes, as for signups for Don't Rest Your Head, they are running through Monday, September 19th. The important thing there being is to not fall asleep, because if you do fall asleep, that is when the nightmares will get you. So
Laurel knows.
Yes.
Too
Oh,
spooky.
yes.
Too spooky.
Yes. But very much
what
looking.
system is your Dune game? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
It's Dune Adventures in the Imperium. It's the new one. It's the 2D20
okay.
system Modifius uses for a lot of stuff. I
Cool.
think it's Modifius.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the same system I believe they use for like Star Trek Adventures and all of that. So that's that one that we're going to be starting up as soon as we figure out the scheduling on it. But yes, for anyone who wants to sign up for Don't Rest Your Head, it's been one of my favorite games to run. It's because the lore can expand out like nobody's business, and I'm doing it this one kind of a persistent world style. So there may be a number of rotating players, so potentially more player seats this time, and possibly people just
It's a
popping
very
in.
good game of Don't Rest Your Head. I've enjoyed it immensely. I think I've played twice now with you, and it's very
Oh,
fun.
cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, it's one of my favorites. It also and we may have people popping in for like a single session and stuff. I may be mixing players who have been in previously and new players. We'll see. I'll have to see how it comes out. But that's going to go for a few months probably, because I've always wanted to try to run it that way. Because the city changes as more nightmares get added to it, and as more people come into the city, more nightmares happen. So that's sort of how it goes. So I definitely want to see how that goes. For anyone who might be interested in signing up for that, you can go down below and click on RPG sign up, or go to gym.com and click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we must anon. So when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to somebody. I was thinking about this. Do we want? We have a few choices. Do we want Ravenloft or Cult of the Lamb? I think is
Cult of the Lamb.
My friend
Good
Mishi
game.
is playing Cult of the Lamb. She's been on this channel before. It's been a while, but the last was on, I believe, the Alas for the Awful Sea short campaign that we had. So if anyone wants to go over and say hi to Mishi, we're going to be raiding there. Feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. That, again, will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.
Bye.
Toodaloo.